This is helping people who are victims of disasters, and maybe that's one of the aspects of inclusive development that might be very Southeast Asian, social protection, avoiding loss rather than enhancing quality of life, right? De La Salle University, they have mini hydroelectric power plants for poor communities in northern Luzon. We have housing projects, an innovative way of providing a large number of houses to very poor people. Our project itself is maybe an example of an initiative. And other things, eco-friendly solar model. In Vietnam, program for supporting STI in mountainous and rural areas funded by government. You can see that the government is really the main actor. Contributes directly to solving problems of farmers, ethnic minorities, people, etc. in these respective areas. Okay, what are the challenges? This is interesting. So these are the things that we need to understand and overcome if we want to reorient, transform, maybe re-engineer universities and councils for IID capability. In Indonesia, they say, councils control the national research agenda but do not control the budget to support it. Okay, so you are given the task, but you are not given the resources to do it. Yeah. People will say, you are already given the task, why ask for the money? Okay. In Malaysia, IID programs provide innovative solutions, not empowerment to the marginalized. In other words, they offer it on a silver platter. They offer the solutions, but they do not provide. Of course, these are generalizations that we are making, but there must be some. I mean, it may not apply to all. But they are saying that the focus is on innovative solutions, but not enough in empowering the marginalized. Current academic regime, unsupportive of IID. I mean, when you look at the structures of universities, they do not provide enough support for IID efforts. Aha, this one. University rankings based on peer-reviewed publication. Marginalize the faculty, the scholars, the staff, and students who are directly engaged with real problems. I mean, they are an informal sector within the university, right? And they have to do this on their own money and their own time. Okay? Does that sound familiar? Okay. Then they say publications without real and long-term engagement with and impact to the community. You can write a lot of books without really going out there in the field and understanding the problems that are out there. I mean, and then you have the issue of inclusivity is highly political. Now, this is in Malaysia. Lack of cooperative, collaborative spirit and trust among university, government, industry, and community. I mean, one of the things that need to be done is confidence building. How to create the readiness to jump in and work together. I heard the word plug and play from Dr. Tangonan. He was saying the idea of being able to have such smooth interoperability that when you give me the problem, I know exactly how to do it and how to do it right according to your specifications. In our case, for instance, just talking about the problems that Joseph was talking about, how can you collaborate when government gives you regulations that prevent you from even moving money, research money? Then you have to adjust, but the adjustment is not good enough in allowing the flow of cooperation. So those are the challenges. In Thailand, no set key performance indicators for IID. I mean, we talk about it, but how do we measure it? Which is why tomorrow we will have an exercise on developing a performance scorecard for universities in IID. And I hope everybody's game and we go into this with an exploratory open mind. Okay, and then in Vietnam, scholars, this is interesting. Scholars who see innovation and R&D as purely technical, thus excluding themselves from IID endeavors. I mean, do social scientists even think that they can do innovation? Is it only for engineers? And so they're saying they're excluding themselves. Okay, poorly rooted intellectual property rights regime. That's another topic there. What is the role of property rights in innovation? Are they hindrances or are they facilitators? Right? With university private sector links and need to acknowledge diversity of country models, concepts, and levels of output. Let's not strain towards homogeneity in many of these models. And IID-related efforts are unsystematic and driven by individuals or specific groups. Again, we see this theme. It's being done by individuals and groups, not by universities as institutions, not even by colleges, not even by departments. Okay, next. I still have 4 minutes. Strategies to consider. Okay, let's next. Okay, it's a mouthful, but here we see include socially inclusive development studies in the research and development agenda. Okay, universities are no longer contributing from within a linear model of innovation, but through a non-linear, collaborative, and acquisitive approach. Universities can add value if they can purposefully explore new directions and ideas, etc. Okay, promote the idea of research for results rather than research for academic purpose. Okay, engage communities and government as strategic university partners. Okay, next. Okay, enabling environment for collaboration. Next. Raise awareness of IID by underscoring the value of research. Oh, learning from neighboring countries in ASEAN, building a small pilot project in a particular community. This is what we were talking about. Call for student research proposals, research awards. Next. Thailand, develop a set of key performance indicators for IID. Next. Malaysia, it should be acknowledged as a key area. Research and academic incentives, or change the performance incentives, the structure of incentives. Evaluation systems for universities. Okay, next. Okay, so those were what you said. Before, when we were conceptualizing these, we were looking at universities. Why should they be considered worthy of attention in making them more engaged? Well, they have a huge and diversified pool of scholars and experts. I mean, when you look at the PhDs and the MAs and the faculties, I mean, concentrated within a square hectare, within a hectare or square kilometer. Professional and competency development and accreditation. They have the authority to do that. Knowledge creation and sharing, research studies, dissertations, modeling and mirroring of reality. Meaning to say, they can tell you what's happening out there. They tell the society what they see. Convening power. They are able to bring development actors and targets into congresses, conferences, Global Leagues, Asia Leagues, workshops. Policy advice to governments, private enterprises, right? So those are strengths. Next. How about research councils? Well, they are designed to give policy advice to government. They are mandated to develop and promote a national and sectoral research agenda. They are equipped with substantive funds. I don't know whether this is true of all. Right? Maybe they have the task but not the funds. Access to knowledge and academic resources of their specific countries, and access to their counterpart councils. If they wanted to, they can enlarge that by going out of the country. They have access to adequate organic staff and expert resources. I don't know whether that is really true of all. I think in the case of Cecil, her staff is one person for this particular project.
Definitely inadequate.
Yeah. Prestige and influence over government, non-governmental, and international development actors. Universities and research councils as support intermediaries. Well, the universities have 3 core missions of teaching, research, and extension, and councils with their research, policy agenda, advisory, and research funding roles. They should be important innovation system actors. Research and innovation in universities in the region are still largely oriented towards industrial and economic development and adequately focused on social and inclusive development. Councils do not adequately formulate policies, give policy advice, set research agenda, and fund research towards innovation for IID. I mean, in reality. What are the challenges? universities for ID, inward challenges, I mean, things that they have to do for themselves. They're not designed to be innovative, inclusive, nor development-oriented. I mean, when you look at their mandates and criteria, they're not really designed for that. They are generally geared towards individual capabilities, not collective development. I mean, the degrees are individual-based. The training is individual-oriented. Highly fragmented organizations, they are fragmented into administration, research, teaching, outreach. They are also fragmented into disciplines, social sciences, business, engineering, and ranks. Oh, this one, senior faculty and junior faculty. When you're junior faculty, you don't exist. In many universities, you are. And then, few long-term programmatic engagements. I mean, the projects the faculty members deal with are semesters and trimesters. They don't think 5 years or 10 years. And the incentive system, publish or perish schemes, promotes attentiveness to foreign theories, models, and research problems. I mean, you have to publish in ISI journals and deal with problems recognized as legitimate in the West. Grazer monitor is not working. What needs to be done? Oops, it's a 0-0. Just create integrative mechanisms. So these are some of the responses that we had. And the next slide does the same thing for, it's a continuation. But basically, I think what we're saying here is that if we pull our insights and knowledge enough, we get a sense of what are the strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats for universities, and we can craft appropriate strategies. And I hope that this project will provide us with the opportunity to do so. As Apiwat is saying, this is a collaborative effort. We are the implementer, but we chose to open it up. In fact, we chose Bonnards and George to critique our strategy, come up with a counterpoint deliberately so that we generate enough thesis and antithesis interaction. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.